Diane in Denmark here, and rah, rah, rah. It is Friday, Big Friday, and we made it to the end of another week. Now today, let me just put my pom-poms aside, and we've got the candles going. It's freezing here in Denmark this morning. I've got my thermal trousers on because I'll be going for my bike ride later and going for a skinny dip in the sea with Vibeke and Helena, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I wanted to do a little question and answer session today because there's been quite a lot of things that have come up, you know, since Christmas and New Year. But anyway, let's dive right in. And remember, before you watch anything on YouTube, before you consult your smartphone, make sure you set a timer first, okay? Because the last thing I want you to do is be sitting here, on your bahookie all day. We've all got things to get on with. And I'm hopefully here to provide a wee bit of inspiration, but I don't want you sticking in one place. We're kind of moving, we're just moving forward gently, one foot in front of the other. So maybe if you are at the office, you want to, clear off your desk, tidy out a desk drawer. If you're at home, maybe you want to fold some laundry, get the flip folder out. Or maybe you want to, clear up the kitchen. Maybe you've just had breakfast or just had your dinner. So anyway, let's get started. And there've been a few questions that have come up. Where should we start? Oh, I tell you what, yeah, we'll start with dressing your truth. Now, I've had a lot of comments about, I've been doing this dressing your truth thing for actually 6 months now. Longer than that, before I worked out, with Carol's help, what my correct type was. And I've really had so much fun with it. I'm feeling so much more energy and brighter. And a lot of you have kind of jumped on board. And I said to you, you do not need to go buying anything. And, I do what works for me. There is a free Dressing Your Truth course. It's called the Before and After course, I think. It's dressingyourtruth.com. And remember, I'm no way affiliated with anybody. I do my own thing. But there's a free course, and that is a fantastic starting point. And for most people, it will be really obvious which type you are. There are also books, and I got the book secondhand. What was it called? I made a video about it. So any of this Dressing Your Truth stuff, it's on my wardrobe and Dressing Your Truth playlist. I'll put a link up there, and you'll see, kind of how I started and got a bit lost along the way. Back on the right path now. I think I got the book that was called Dressing Your Beauty or something like that. The main thing is not to get caught up in reading about the personalities, because that's what got me messed up. If you're, most people will hit on their type, their main type. Remember, we're all made up of different energies, but what you lead with in your secondary is kind of important, and it shows you, how you do things, even down to like how I do my morning routine. It is very one for it. Anyway, don't get caught up in the personality thing, because I read too much into the personality. And what had happened with me, I've mentioned this before, we had serious illness in the family, and that caused me to kind of go from my type 1 energy and kind of use my type 4 energy, which is my secondary. I used it as a protective thing. I've mentioned it before. It was like, I put up this umbrella of living in the type 4, and the type 4 very strict and regulated, and the colours, I went into something that was kind of too harsh for my normal self. And I didn't realise, once the stress and strain was over, that I could go back to my usual type, which is type 1. So anyway, and that will apply to, maybe you have, had some kind of abuse as a child, or gone through a divorce, or something, something has happened in your life which has kind of put you off course. That you may have changed up your energies a bit, or gone into another energy to kind of protect you, or depression, anything like that. But generally speaking, most people will hit on their energy immediately, say, oh yeah, that's me. And then when you start reading about it, you'll be backed up, and all the ways that you do things in your life, like the stuff that you choose for your house, and the colours that you like, and the seasons that it all kind of makes sense. So anyway, and if you need more help with choosing your type, and you're not sure about your type, as I said to you, you've got the free courses and there's tons of free videos on YouTube. I gave myself a gift for my birthday of lifestyle access. They have a lifestyle group and there's more videos, and Carol is in the group, in the Facebook group, and once a month, no, more than that actually, if you're an annual member, if you've got the lifestyle access, she started this new thing where she will truth bomb people, which means that people can get help. You know, if they're not seeing their type, she will help them. And that is so, you know, that's been, instead of watching TV, that's my most favourite thing to watch at the moment, because it is so fantastic to see people kind of blossoming into, or back into how they used to be, and, you know, being able to move forward. So anyway, if you're having problems, thoroughly recommend the lifestyle thing. You don't need to buy anything, but that was a gift to myself. And you know me, I never spend money on anything else, and I've saved so much money because I don't buy clothes, and I get most of my stuff at clothes swaps. But anyway, so if that's something for you, go ahead and do that. Maybe it's a good thing for the new year. Okay, oh, it's the weekend. We're coming up for the weekend, and Flylady Friday is, you know, date night. I've got my wee basket ready. I'm going to be filling that up with the family's favourite snacks. And I've made videos about that before. Friday date night, we don't go out, we like to stay home and have our favourite snacks. We will also be watching tonight X Factor, Danish X Factor, because it's a new season that starts tonight. And the other thing for Flylady Friday is fill up your car with petrol. I did mine yesterday. We hardly ever use the car, so we don't need to fill up very often. I normally do it maybe once every 2 weeks, because we use our bikes for school, work, you know, all year round, even if it's snowing or, you know, icy. Other thing is clean out your purse, your handbag. I've made videos on all these daily focus things, and I'll put the link up there. I was talking about it yesterday. So I'm going to be filling this up, and we're going to be watching X Factor. And the other thing, just because we've been talking about books and stuff the last few days, I started my new, let me just grab it. I started my new book yesterday, really enjoying this one. And we're going to be watching X Factor. And the other thing that my daughter and I have been watching, if you've got Netflix, is the Marie Kondo series. I can't remember what it's called, Clearing Up or Tidying Up. Well, anyway, if you've got Netflix, you'll find it easily. And I'm sure many of you will know the Konmari method. I mean, if you found me because of Flylady stuff, Konmari and Flylady and getting things done, they all go really, really well together. And as I've said with the Flylady thing, you know, the Konmari system, you take what works for you and use that. You know, you don't need to be doing the whole of a system to make things work for you. I read the Marie Kondo book a few years back, and you know, and I've been into Flylady for a long time, and I got great helpful hints in there. And I personally, for the actual decluttering, I like the Flylady method of doing a little at a time. That works better for me, because I'm kind of overwhelmed by seeing too much at once. But on the other hand, I do put things together when I'm decluttering. I mean, you've seen me decluttering like scarves. Then I get, you know, I take out all my scarves and go through them, but I wouldn't take out all my clothes. I wouldn't take out all my clothes, you know, and put them all in the bed, and because that feels overwhelming for me. But if that's the way that you need to do it, or it maybe works for you if you're doing, I don't know, kids' clothes, something like that, just use the method that works for you. But anyway, the TV series is really fun, and I'm sure Marie Kondo, she must be a type 1, because she's so kind of, and loves everything and finds, you know, the joy in everything. And it's the same with the Flylady system. If you've got stuff that you love, nobody's saying that you need to get rid of it. You know, my husband has all the books in this house, but they all, you know, he loves every one of his books. The thing here is that you find out what you love, and if you've got a place for it, you've got to have a place to store it, and you've got to look after it. So you can't kind of love all the things. You know, you've got to kind of pare it down to what do you really love and like and have a place for and are prepared to look after, you know, because part of the thing of, you know, actually getting your stuff, you know, if you've got a lot of clothes, you've got to look after your clothes. You can't just take them off and leave them lying on a chair. You know, you've got to put them away, look after them. So anyway, if you haven't seen that yet, that's a great one. And also, I like the Marie Kondo TV series because it's uplifting. You know, I find a lot of the kind of hoarder programs that they just make me feel really sad. So you know, I get motivated if I watch it, but I find them sad. And the Marie Kondo one is fun. She's a fun lady. So anyway, if you haven't seen that yet, have a wee look at that. And we are also watching. Oh, because we like light stuff here in the family. My daughter got the latest series of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I don't know, and I just find these things really fun and silly, and I love, if you haven't seen the Halloween episode, go and watch that. I don't know how many times I've watched that recently. That's really good. So anyway, okay, off from TV and books on something else. But TV and books, great way to pamper if you're not already doing that. What else? Oh yeah, the I Challenge Myself challenge that was started the other day. Fantastic. I love seeing your progress with things, and I've loved seeing that you're using the challenge just to, like a kind of anti-procrastination day thing. Like, you know, what haven't you done recently that you should have been doing? And I'm doing the same. I'm just kind of challenging myself to do little projects that I've just been putting off for some reason. And on that note, I'll show you a couple of things that I've been doing. And these are also linked to the Dressing Your Truth thing. Now, you've seen me before with doing some videos. They're also on that wardrobe playlist. I've been refashioning things. You know me, I love to use what I already have and, you know, change it up or convert it. And I've refashioned my black Chelsea boots. I used blue shoe paint from Angelus. Angelus, I don't know how you pronounce it. Really pleased with the results, and I've my cognac brown leather boots, the tall leather boots that you see in my Instagram posts. I changed those from cognac to chocolate brown. Fantastic. I've really had a lot of wear out of them. So yesterday I got on with another week. I challenged myself to do something I'd been putting off, and I've done 2 more painting projects. Let me just get the paint. There you are. And this was the navy blue paint, and you can see you really need a tiny amount. This is the one that I used to do my Chelsea boots, and yesterday I did a new project. I have done my leather gloves, which were black, and they may look black here, but they're actually navy. The light, it's difficult to see these things on camera. Oh, okay, there you can maybe see the navy, yeah. And these are fantastic gloves that I got from my husband several years ago. And we could have bought a small car for the price these cost. They're from Rander's Hensker, which is Rander's gloves. So oldest glove making company in the world. They're a Danish company. And I got these for Christmas several years ago, and they're fantastic. They are leather gloves with lamb's wool lining. Really warm, great when it's cold outside. I love them when I'm biking. And I got them because normally, you know, leather gloves, they stopped here, and I got them with the longer part that goes right down here because I hate getting my wrists cold, and you know that's why I love jumpers that go all the way down. Anyway, and you know, I had these black leather gloves, and I was thinking, oh, I didn't want to give them away, but I just didn't feel like wearing them because the black, I haven't worn black for 6 months now. When I see black, it really kind of drags me down. So I did them with the leather paint, and they look fantastic. With the leather paint, you don't need anything afterwards. They are kind of waterproof and whatever once you put that on. And I have to say they look great. And the other thing that I did, gosh, I hope you've got time for this today, but I'm just feeling very pleased with myself. The other thing that I did was I have started converting this. Now this was a black bag, and I've taken the chain off it so I could paint it as well. So I'm going to have everything that's kind of matchy-matchy and goes with my navy coat. So I'm all set. I don't need to buy anything new. And again, you maybe can't see, but that is navy. Because it looks like quite dark navy, but it's actually quite bright navy outside. I don't know if you can see that for comparison. I haven't done that part of the handle yet, but there's the black and there's the blue. So anyway, I was really pleased with that, and it took me, I don't know, it took me about 20 minutes. I wouldn't start off with doing something kind of finicky like this, or the gloves. I mean, the gloves, you know, I kind of painted them like this, and then I had them on top of the kitchen roll holder to dry, like this, once it was done, and then I painted the other one, but I'm really pleased with those. But start off with something small. If you haven't done shoe painting or, you know, belt painting before, go for something like a belt, work on that, and if that goes well, then you can start painting other stuff. And now I'm thinking I may paint one of my leather jackets and make it chocolate brown. So anyway, you will hear a lot about that in my post. Right, and a couple of last things. Oh yeah, this I challenge myself challenge. Maybe if you're making you know, changes to your morning routine, your evening routine, keeping your sink clean and tidy, you may want to make sure to change up your control journal. I'm about to add in my extra daily exercise. I'm out on my bike most days. I'm cycling down to the sea for my skinny dip. But as I've mentioned this winter, I've added in extra exercise. I'm going out for a run just for 15 minutes around the block for a make dinner, or I'm doing a 7-minute workout. And I mentioned an app before. I'll see if I can put that down in the comments. And it won't be an affiliate link. Don't worry, I don't do that kind of stuff. But I need to add that to my daily routine just so I can get it checked off. Because the other day I almost forgot the 7-minute workout, because I don't know why, it's really easy for me to remember the running but not the 7-minute workout. So I'm going to add that to, I'll put it on my morning routine and my evening routine, and that way it'll get checked off, you know, at some point during the day. So you may want to add that to your routines. You may want to add it if you're using, you know, some kind of app to keep you up with your routines. And the other thing is, oh yeah, somebody asked about the hyacinths. And these are the hyacinths that I had done just before Christmas. I put it on Instagram. What I do is I buy wee hyacinths. See, there it is, still in the pot. And then we add a wee bit of glitter, and we buy them around Christmas, and then they flower at New Year usually. And if you find that they're kind of, hanging with their heads, what I normally do is I put in a skewer, you know, one of those wooden skewers, and that can help to keep them upright. But then what I also like to do is cut off the heads, and you can stick them in a vase. Now these are the ones from a few days ago, but they're really pungent. I don't have a lot of hyacinths in the house because, you know, my husband doesn't like the smells, and, you know, not great if you've got allergies. But what you can do is just take off the dead little flowers there and keep the rest of it going. So that's what I'm going to do with this one today. And what I normally do is I plant the bulbs in the garden, because they will flower again and they'll come up next spring. So that's another wee task for me to do today. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is the Danish Queen's address. Now, I mentioned this to you last year. The Danes love their queen, Queen Daisy, Queen Margrethe. Her name is Margaret and her nickname is Daisy. Daisy, Marguerite, you know, it all fits together. And last year I shared with you her speech. Now, something like 2 million Danes out of, what are we, 5.5 million now, watch her speech live at 6 o'clock on New Year's Eve. And I've made a video about how important New Year's Eve is for us here in Denmark, and all the fireworks and jumping off the furniture into the new year. So I'll put that up there. But the Danes are, you know, they love the Queen, and she really makes some great points. She can't be political, of course, but she makes some fantastic points. She's a clever lady, very creative lady as well. And last year I mentioned her speech. I'll see if I can find the video. and she mentioned about doing something pointless. It was really important every day to do something pointless, and everybody's like, what? Why is she saying do something pointless? But it was that whole fact of just, taking some time out to focus inwardly and just do, like a Sudoku or sit with some knitting, even though you're not going to finish that project. Just the fact of doing something pointless every day, just to take us away from, everything else that's going on. So anyway, I'll just give you a wee snippet of her speech from this year. And I'll put the Queen's address, I'll put a link to that also down in the video information, and I'll do it as a pinned comment. But she always makes some very valid points. So anyway, I'll just, okay, I'm going to be channeling the Queen here, Queen Margrethe. Okay, so our country is becoming richer, but are our lives becoming richer? Many people experience that the pace of day-to-day life has increased, also more than all can keep up with. There is so much that needs to be done, both at work and during leisure time. Perhaps we create some of the demands ourselves. We do not want to miss out on anything. We want it all, and preferably at the same time. That's food for thought. In our hurry, we may become too keen on being in the limelight. It is as if more people say, look at me, and fewer have an eye for others. I fear that reflection and consideration may be pushed back and forgotten. New technology has created altogether new opportunities for contact with others. It is possible to FaceTime with one's children and grandchildren, even though they are on the other side of the globe. It is a source of great joy to all parties. However, new technology may also result in the contact becoming more impersonal. We are online all the time, and we forget that actually there is a human being at the other end. It is so easy to write a comment or share a photo on social media that may be offensive and leave deep scars. That sort of thing goes into cyberspace, spreading like swarms of flies. I find that there is a tendency that our way of spending time together becomes more superficial, less attentive. We do not take the time to understand each other, and we forget to respect each other and take care of each other. It also affects our children. And here comes the really good point. There are probably some children who are also watching tonight. To you, I would like to say a few words. The important thing is not how you look or what you have achieved, but who you are and how you behave towards others, your friends and schoolmates. If you are so busy achieving what is best for yourself all the time, you fail to see how others are doing. You need to take the time to notice if a friend is unhappy. There must be time to understand if you have said something that hurts a friend or you've teased someone too much. It is important to patch things up again. This does not apply to children only. We who are adults should also bear it in mind. Trust develops when we meet person to person and speak with each other. We may well disagree. We are entitled to that. It is part of reflecting and forming an opinion. But we must always listen to each other and try to understand each other. Our common strength is nurtured when we feel respect for our fellow human beings and place trust in each other. For we all have a responsibility for the community. This is the very roots of our society. Okay, so sorry I got cut off there. I'll stick the video together again. But great food for thought. And also on that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody in this little community that we have here, where we're now, I'm at 19,000 subscribers, and I've said it before, I don't say, please subscribe to my channel, please like this video. I'm going to be making these videos whether you like it or not, but just a heartfelt thank you to everybody who has subscribed and to everybody who leaves the positive comments. That's the whole point of my channel here, is let's spread some positivity this year. Let's be cheerful. Even if we're having a down day, it doesn't need to affect the whole day. Let's just look for the bright spots in our day and spread a little joy and cheerfulness and a lot of Danish hygge. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to get off. I think I'll start with the hyacinths and wish you a fantastic Friday. Friday, a great weekend. I'll be with you on Instagram over the weekend. As usual, posting shiny sink, outfit for tomorrow, what I'm up to. So anyway, have a fantastic weekend. See you back here bright and early on Monday morning. Keep going out there, just putting one foot in front of the other and keep a smile on your face. So anyway, live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, and I shall see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.